All right. What I have here is from Mike through Nick, well, from Nick through Mike. And I have his 120 lap on his ZX6, and because of the satellite thing in my last video, I have to compare it to my 123s from August instead of the 125 from September around 6, because the satellite traces don't line up. But I thought it'd be kind of interesting for me as well to do homework, not just looking at my own data and saying how can I improve, which is what the last video was, or rather was looking at me getting worse. But I also really enjoyed looking at Dimitrio's 124 lap when I was stuck at 126s. So I thought it would be cool to do a little comparison of a 120 3 seconds faster than me and see where we can go. Now, I was trying to figure out, okay, what's the best way to do this? Because I've just been stepping through all the comparisons, but actually, I'm going to start off by using this time compare trace at the bottom that I don't normally do. So I'm going to make that a lot bigger. We'll bring the gyro back in a second. But for now, oh, and then of course with the ZX6 is in blue, I'm in green, and then I only have RPMs, which I'm going to make a little small. I'll leave them here for now. But I only have RPMs and throttle for myself, and we have to compare GPS speed and GPS gyro. Unfortunately, we don't have ECU data for the 120 lap, which is a bummer because it's always nice to look at throttle application points. Anyway, so let's make the gyro small for a second. And I want to look at this time compare thing. So the baseline, the blue line, the flat horizontal blue line here that's is the x-axis, is the 120 lap. So that's the ZX6R. That's Nick's lap. Everywhere my green line is below that, I am getting closer to him at that point in the track. I'm not going to use the words faster because you'll see what I'm going to get into in a second. But everywhere my green line is below the x-axis, I'm getting closer to him. And everywhere my green line is above the x-axis, I am getting farther away from him. The metric that's used is time gain or time delta, but the way that it works that out is like distance around the track, but then distance around the track doesn't include direction. So I've spent a long time looking at this, and I think it's easier for me to think about it as I'm getting closer to him or farther away from him. And there's something really interesting about this that's actually really helpful because his everything is just so much smoother, and this was a pretty smooth lap for me as well. So there's something pretty consistent, which is that I'm getting a lot closer to him on the entry into turn 1. And then you come over here, and you see the entry into turn 3, right? So this right here, this is the entry into turn 1. I'm getting closer to him. Entry into turn 3, I'm getting closer to him. Entry into the bowl, I'm getting closer to him. Entry right here, or exit from 10, I guess, so we'll ignore that one. So we're just going to look at this one, entry into 1, entry into 3, entry into the bowl, and we're going to ignore 10, and then maybe we'll look at the entry into this final thing, although what you see at the final sector is not really important. But anyway, turn 1, turn 3, and the bowl, I'm getting closer to him on every one. And I'm like, wow, he's going 3 seconds faster than me. Is this good? And you're like, no, it's terrible because look how much time I'm losing on the exit right after all these sections. Right? So like just looking at the time compare section actually tells the story of I think of a lot of this lap delta or the lap time delta, or at least some of the stuff that I can work on, which is coming into these corners, I'm actually going faster than him. Look at the 68 versus 61, or at least I'm closing the gap, right? When we're at this point coming into turn 1, I'm going 7 GPS miles per hour faster than him coming into turn 1. This is like, what is that, 79. I'm going 9 miles an hour faster than him. I don't know where the wall is. Probably like, there's the pit wall that ends and then you can kind of see past. I'm going 9 miles an hour faster than him. And then look at what that does to me, right? Which we can talk about technique. Is it braking? Is it throttle roll off? But yeah, I'm going to basically walk through all these sections. I'm going to walk through this section right here from turn 1 entry to exit, and how I'm just getting cooked in the connector. Walk through turn 3 well, we'll walk through all this and we'll walk through the bowl because there's a lot going on here. Anyway, I think it's pretty cool. So I'm going to make this a little smaller now because we already know what we want to look at. We want to look at the entry where I'm actually going faster than him, and then how that's completely fucking up my exits and my corner speed. And if we had throttle application, probably throttle application as well. That's my thesis. That's what I'm thinking about. Let's take a look. So we can double click into turn one. We have only, again, GPS speed and gyro. Top speed, 126, 126. We actually have the same top speed GPS on these laps. I think he gets a 27 somewhere, right? I get a 27 here, and he gets a 27 here. 27, 27. Now, the fact that we can look at my throttle application and see that it's full, slow off. What is that? Slow off at this point of the track, 41 meters into the lap, and fully off here, 53. So basically, I'm going, slow roll and then immediately off. This is pretty quickly off. Shut off the throttle, and then my 127 miles an hour, and Nick is actually still speeding up from. I'm completely off here, 65 meters, completely off 65 meters into the lap, and he is 127 here. And then he goes down to 126 right here, right? I'm looking at his speed. 89 meters. The difference between 65 meters and 89 meters is not nothing. I mean, that's probably an extra number on the pit board or something like that. But anyway, that's coming into turn one. We're holding the same speed, and I'll also just show the lap time view so that you can see how the two dots kind of, if we were racing next to each other, this is what it would look like, right? You can see right here. Wow, look at that. I'm like technically in the lead, and then I'm also pointing completely the wrong way. So that's what we want to look at. Why do I suck? So he's carrying a little more speed than me here now because I went off earlier. And we're going to look at, I'm going to make this a little smaller, and I'm going to make this a little smaller so we can just look at really stretch out the GPS speed tracer and the gyro trace, because that's really all we have to compare. Make this a little smaller. Make this one a little smaller. All right, there you go. Okay, so, whatever. I roll off slightly before him. Now, coming into the corner, even though he rolled off, what is this, 30 meters, 69 versus 80. No, it's like 10-ish, 15 meters. He rolled off later than me. Where's the GPS speed? Right here. He's already leaning right here more than me. So -4 degrees, -1. So he's already got a little bit of pre-turn lean in that's more than me. And when we get to this point in the corner right here, he gets the same, right here, he gets the same speed as me. So the lines look pretty small, but I actually think this is the theme for these lap comparisons. And what's happening to me is I'm rolling off, and then I'm not braking as hard is what I suspect, or my braking technique was not as good. And also I was not applying lean at all basically on this section until right here. And so when we get to this point in the corner, we're coming into turn one here. Look at the dots. He keeps slowing down, and I stop. Look at the divergence in the speed here. So I actually, the slope of his GPS speed line, the blue line, is steeper than mine. So I roll off earlier, but then my slope is flatter. So this tells me I'm not braking as hard, or my techniques and braking is off. I suspect it was a technique thing because I changed my technique for round 6 and I was really slowing a lot better. Anyway, I think I talked about that in one of my videos. So here we go. And then when we get here, even though I rolled off earlier than him, I'm going faster. And because I'm going faster, I'm not applying as much lean, right? So all through this section. And also I'm not very consistent. Like this look at this gyro, right? I do a big lean application, and then I take it away a little bit, and then I'm wobbly. And like his is much more even. He's doing a pretty consistent application of lean into the corner here. And I'm going, no lean. I actually take lean away here. And then I add a whole bunch of it all at once. And then I take it a little bit away again. Then I'm holding it, and then I take a little bit away, right? I went from 16 degrees of lean to 10 degrees. I took 5 degrees of lean away right here. Where's my green dot? I think I might have even been worried I was going to hit the curb or something, right? And maybe I should be just giving myself a little more room instead of hugging this curb too tight, so that I don't have this panic lean away from the curb thing. And of course, I'm sure if you look at the video, I wasn't even close, because I don't think my knees ever touched that curb. I think like one time ever. So anyway, we come to sort of this point in the corner, and I'm going 56 miles an hour. He's doing 46. And also I'm only leaning 13 degrees. So there's 15 degrees of lean that I'm not carrying, and he's going 10 miles an hour slower than me. And I think that's kind of the story of the entry of turn one, is I'm rolling off early, coasting, not braking that hard. And then when I get to this sort of real part of the corner, there's a real divergence in how I need to be performing here. So I love how consistently flat his speed line is, right? This is all the way down to here, whereas I have one line here and then a whole extra bit of a change in the angle of my braking right here. And I'm just not leaning. So if we look at what happens right here, right? This is the entry. This is still the entry into one, or what I call the connector. We come in here. Here's my speed. I'm doing 10 miles an hour faster than him. Look at the gyro, though. If the gyro is negative, so when this line goes down, we're leaning left, and when it goes up, we're leaning right. Yeah? So Nick's done, completely done. He's holding his lean angle here, and he's holding his speed. Flat lean angle. Look how nice and long and flat he is here. And look at his GPS speed, right? Starts to pick up right here. Where is he? 46, 46, 46, 46, 47. 46, 46, 47. You can see the slight change. So he probably is putting the throttle on right here. And if you look at the shape of his curve, it's like, yeah, that looks like he's apexing, right? Whereas I'm not even apexing. I'm going to Africa. Where am I going? Right? Here's my speed. So now I still have to slow down to 42 here. So even though I was carrying 10 miles an hour plus 10 here, minus 10 here. Plus 10 on the entry, minus 10 on the exit. Why the exit? Because he's actually exited, and I actually haven't exited yet. Here's my gyro. I'm coming in. What the fuck am I doing? I have to lean more, because 13 degrees versus 30. All of a sudden, I input, what is that? I go to 46 degrees of lean. Just slow way down, 46 degrees of lean on my gyro, right? Who knows if that's accurate or not, but I actually put more lean angle into turn one on my aim gyro. What is his gyro right here, right? Than he ever does. Right here, look right here, he's 26 degrees. And so I'm going slower and carrying more lean angle. Do I want to be leaning? No, leaning is less traction, right? Like I want to be leaning less. And so this is why it feels like a really good technique thing, like as in I'm using the wrong techniques and having the wrong approach to the track, because coming around here to input a whole bunch of extra lean angle after you've kind of cooked the apex and having to slow down more. And when we looked at this part, right, this speed delta right here coming into the corner, why am I going 10 miles an hour faster? I don't need to make this time up, right? What I need to get right is this part. And as soon as he's out of turn one entry, smooth, sharp throttle application to here. And there's one thing that I noticed looking at this, and it's hard to see when I'm zoomed in on this GPS speed. If you look, I'll zoom out in a second. It's easier to see here. This is where he starts slowing down in the connector. He's doing 57 miles an hour. Boom, boom, boom. Coming into, what is this, 1A or something like that? I need to remember all the turn numbers. But 57 here. The slope of his blue line, it comes up really nicely like a parabola and then has a pyramid and just a little sharp point, and then it comes down. Whereas the slope of my speed is really, really smooth. I don't have a pyramid here. I have a freaking hill. Like this is some burial mound in Europe where they're too poor to build pyramids, and this is a nice little sharp pyramid. Now, if you look at the the GPS speed here, on this part, you really see how sharp his looks versus mine. I'm almost certain I'm not applying the brakes at any point in this connector. Now, do I need to apply the brakes given that I'm going slower than him the whole time? I don't know, probably not. But just something to keep in mind for me. We come here, I'm leaning a ton, whatever, right? Finally, we get here. And again, right here, when we turn back around to the right, who has more lean? 26.4. His max was here, 23.0. So again, I'm going fucking 8 miles an hour slower than him while leaning more because my all my applications are wrong. Like I'm late coming in here. I'm late getting through the corner. I stick all this lean on. Finally, I'm coming out of the corner here, and then he is at this point in the corner. He's flipping the bike over to the right. Yeah, when he's right here, whereas I'm to the left, right? If the white line here is the x-axis, I'm let's see, come to the left, flip the bike to the left, flip the bike to the left, and then right. Oh no, to the right. So this is leaning to the right. Sorry, it's. I wish there was like a left right thing here, but I guess I'm just retarded. So he's leaning the bike maximally to the right at this point, and I'm not, and I'm leaning maximally to the right here, and so I'm just like turn one basically. My lean is more intense than his, it's later than his, and it's not consistent. So I'm leaning late, not consistently. And if I think about what that means about my line is I'm probably, what does that mean? What does that mean? It means I'm coming in fast, or in my head I'm coming in fast, right? And sometimes actually I'm coming in fast, and then I'm not smooth on the inputs, and I'm kind of cooking myself on all these exits and having much lower speed and worse line than I could out of all these corners. And then like look at all these like random spikes in my lean angle. So I'm leaning the bike to the right, coming into turn 2. We're going to flip it over to the left. I'm late flipping it over, right? At this point in the track, he's leaning 21 degrees to the left. I'm leaning only 10. I'm late flipping it over. I finally get a little bit of lean here, but given I missed all this, right, I'm not on line. Look at the direction of my line versus his starting to bend here, and mine's still just pointing off into the wall, right? Then, I take away a whole bunch of lean angle, and then I add it all back again. And so we cook ourselves. Now, the exit from 2, if we can actually look here, the exit from 2 is not so bad. After we get through all of that bullshit, right? Speed, pretty even. Taking away lean, pretty even. And then what happens? Okay, I roll off. You can barely see my throttle here, right? I max my throttle here on the exit, and then I roll off totally right here. And he carries speed to this point. So, okay, he's going faster than me. He goes a little late. But lean is kind of the same. Basically, all the way through to here, it's not crazy terrible versus each other, right? And if you just look at the time trace, okay, like the dots are kind of doing the same thing, And then, okay, I start rolling off. He carries a little late. He carries the throttle a little later than me. Then we come into the corner, and this is the same thing we saw in turn 1. So according to the time compare that we were looking at earlier, I'm going to get way closer to him coming right into this corner. And you'll see here, oh, look, he's leaning already. I have 0 degrees of lean. And so what were we just talking about? We're talking about in my head, I'm coming in hot, I'm leaning late, and then I'm doing like jagged movements with my bike inputs, adding and taking away lean at the same time, and ultimately slowing down in all the corners and on all the exits. And if I just say all that, like you can see this, right? So he's off throttle later than me. We come here to this point, we're at the same speed, 51. So let me put it on time compare. It's actually right here. On lap compare, sorry. At this point so I roll off here, he rolls off here, he carries all this extra speed than I do into the corner, and yet he's off. He's done. So he's braking harder than me, and I'm sort of, maybe it's braking, maybe it's technique. Look at me, I've sort of come in earlier than him, right? I've come in way early on a line selection basis. He's got nice and wide here. So let's do speed first, then gyro. We get here. This is his slowest point of the corner. 33 miles an hour. All the way out here. Where's my slowest point? There. Right? He's already been on the gas for some amount of time here. So you don't even need to look at the next section to know how badly I'm going to get cooked coming out of this corner. Right? This is my slowest point. And of course, what this means also in my head is, it also means as I'm applying the throttle for the very first time at this point, I'm about to transition into the, what's it called? Like the incline coming up out of 3 into 4. There's a whole bunch of conditions that are about to change, and that this being where I high-sided annoys me. But he's already got probably more consistent grip than me, because he applies his throttle right here to pick up the speed on this nice flat area. That may be something I should think about. Okay, so then let's look at the gyro section, right? So we're coming in the corner. Here's where I start leaning. Here's where I start, right? Because when this gyro curve is going up, 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 that means we're leaning to the right. When it's coming down, it means we're going to the left. So I'm coming in early. 1 degree of lean, sure, but look what it does to my line. Right, I'm probably just getting sucked in staring at this apex. Then I take it away. Let me just make this chart a little bigger for a second. Then I take it away. I added the lean here, and then I took it away. Talk about inconsistent applicants. Look at this applications. Look at the slope of his gyro on his blue line right here. Excuse me. Look at that. It's not linear, but it's sort of progressively ramping up as his speed comes down. Speed comes down nice and smoothly. Lean goes up nice and smoothly, and then okay, like a little jagged here, whatever. Maybe it's just a little bump, but this is great. And he's out of the corner. Look at me. Little pre-turn here to point towards the apex instead of going nice and wide. Take all the lean away again to go straight. Then I add a crap ton more lean than him here, right? Up to 16. He's ramping up nicely while braking. I'm doing a linear line on my lean. This is a linear, whereas his is progressive, and it makes sense because he's taking away speed while adding lean, and this is linear and this is linear for me. Then we add a whole bunch of lean, and then fucking Conrad, you absolute idiot! Look right here. What are we doing? What are we doing here? Am I at the slowest point in the corner? No, I am miles away from the slowest point in my corner. And yet I go from 22 degrees of lean to the right to 11. Look at that. From here to here, I stand the bike up. Am I applying throttle? Nope. Throttle is 0 this whole time. Am I probably coming close to the curb and scaring myself, thinking I'm going to hit it again? Yeah, probably. Am I just staring at the curb? Probably. Should I be wider here? Yes. Then, because I took all that lean away in the middle of the corner, when I'm now going faster than him, I'm at 37 miles an hour. He's at 34 at this point. I'm going faster than him. I'm deeper in the corner. I just stood the bike up. So now there's a 20-degree delta in lean. I'm like, oh, fuck. I got to finish the corner. And now I just throw the bike over all the way. And we end up putting 50.2 degrees of lean into this corner at 32 miles an hour. I'm going slow. I'm 50 degrees leaned over. And he never has to lean more than 35. 35. Right? I'm completely cooking myself. And then the thing is, right, if you lean the bike over 50 degrees, how gentle do you have to be with your throttle application? Or how much am I going to scare the shit out of myself when I start cracking the throttle? Versus if I only had to crack the throttle at 35 degrees, would that be nicer? Could I be more aggressive with it? I mean, like with a smooth application, but still I'd have more to play with, right? And so it's like the same shit as turn 1 to 2. So we look at coming out, right? We're coming out of 3. I'm doing 32 here, right? This is the exact point. And where's my lean angle? Where does it actually stop? 51.6, 51.8. I'm looking right here. 51.8 degrees of lean, right? At this point, Nick's gone from 35 to 27. So he stood the bike up 5 degrees. and he's picked up 5 miles an hour. Yeah, he's standing the bike up, and he's going to get a beautiful drive up this hill. Me, I've got the bike leaned over fucking 50 degrees, and I just started to crack the throttle a tiny little bit. Right now, if we could see his throttle curve, I bet it would look. Where's mine? Let me just pull it here. Look how timid I am with the throttle. Ooh, all the way up to here. Just we go. Oh, we go. How far is this? We go from. Actually, let me do it on the full view so that we can really see from this lowest point in the corner. We go. Res complete throttle off right here. Throttle 0 degrees, 0.5, 0.4, 0.5. Okay, 0.5. 0 degrees of throttle. I'm not done leaning. You can look at the gyro right here. And we're 853 meters into the lap. 853. So now, if we go from 853, 0 degrees of throttle, to 10 degrees of throttle, 900. I travel 50 actual meters into my lap, and I crack the throttle 10 degrees. And of course I do, because I'm leaning the bike over 50 fucking degrees. And so I'm standing the bike up. Still leaning more than Nick was here, right? Standing the bike up. Okay, now I'm leaning the same as he is at this point, right? I've got the same lean as him, except my line's scuffed because of all the stuff we just talked about. Finally, I can stand the bike up about the same amount that he does coming out of this hill, right? Look at the gyro chase, right? This is about the same. Is mine wobbly and inconsistent? Yes. Should I be better? Yes. But these are pretty similar, right? Like here you see right here I'm going, oh, maybe I got to lean a little more in case I run off the track. And this is the exact moment where I stop rolling on the throttle. See? Right here and here. Oh, gosh, let's stop the roll on. Whereas ideally, I would be able to roll this thing on all the way, or at least maybe progressively, and have a nice drive out. But because I cooked this corner, trying to race through it all, I have to back out right here. And you can see the speed gap between us. I'm 32, he's 40. Everything that goes wrong in this corner just continues into a 10 plus mile an hour difference in speed all through this section. Like, these lines are pretty straight, but we get to the end here and I'm screaming 91 miles an hour in my head, thinking I'm going super fast, and I'm basically 10 miles an hour short. Anyway, it's great because it's the same. I look at it. I mean, I don't know what I'm doing, but I look at this data and I'm like, this from the entry here is the same problem I have in turn 1 and turn 3. Same thing we just talked about, right? And then the last one gonna look at is the same fucking thing. So sorry to spoil it for you guys, but yeah, we can take this away again. Okay, we're coming into the bowl now. He's going 106 miles an hour here. I eventually get up to 101. He does roll off slightly sooner than me. Right here, he starts going down, and I I say roll off. His top speed starts decreasing sooner than mine. I suspect I'm just sort of coasting a little bit. Anyway, his top speed starts decreasing, 100, 106. By the time we get here, we're about 1 mile an hour different from each other. So from this point in the corner where you roll off to where we start getting a little bit of lean, right? This is 0 degrees of lean, so just starting to add a little bit of lean. He gets down to the same speed I was at. And then look at the line selection. Look at what we were just talking about in 3. Well, what happened in 3? What happened in 3 is I rolled off earlier than him, but then coasted into the corner, didn't brake as sharply as him, carried a whole bunch of extra speed into the deep part of the corner. Look at the green line here being above his. Leaned slower than him, and then with jerky inputs on lean, not consistently, and was not able to get to the apex and the exit at the same as quickly as him. Didn't have my direction, and then my drive out of the corner was completely cooked. Right, that's what we just talked about in 3. That was the last 5 minutes. Look at this. I'm coming in. Okay, he has to roll off a little earlier than I do this time because he's going a lot faster, but I'm coasting. He gets down to the same speed as I am. He's inputting lean before me. Look at this. 10 degrees of lean out here. His line selection is wider. I'm probably staring at the apex in both these times, right? So my line is narrower. And then I still haven't started leaning yet. Okay, I've started leaning. Right? At this point, he's got 10 degrees and he's bleeding his speed. Coming in great. Then I add a whole bunch of lean. Okay. Nice. Ooh, okay. Add a whole bunch. I'm still going a little slower than him. Right here, at this point in the entry to 6, I finally get slowed down. Do I have direction? Or is it, I finally get the same speed he is. Do I have direction? No. I'm inside. I'm pointing off into the, what is it? I think it's gravel on the outside here. It's not really where I want to go. And I'm tight. I'm narrow. So if I add too much lean all of a sudden here, I'll scare myself with the inside curb or something stupid. And yeah, my line sucks. And so what happens? Okay, then I take away a little bit of lean, see, or I stop adding it, whereas Nick's adding it nice and smoothly. Then I add it back again. Then I take it away again. Then I add a whole bunch again right here. I'm going 6 miles an hour faster than him at this point, 58, 59, right? I'm pointing in the wrong direction. Look at which right here. Look where I'm pointing. Look where he's starting to point. And so when we get to the actual exit of this corner, GPS speed, same thing. Okay, we're coming around. And where's his slowest point? Right here, 44. Where's his maximum lean? Right here, 41.7. 41.8. Maximum lean, slowest point, right here. And because he did all the leaning and the slowing down difference we just talked about on the entry, he actually is pointing in the right direction. Whereas I'm pointing into fucking Narnia. I'm still going in Narnia. And so, I mean, look at this gyro. So then I take lean away. Why do I take it away here? I don't know. I'm retarded, probably. Just know why. Why do I take lean away here? I was probably scaring myself with the curb or something stupid. Then I add a whole bunch all of a sudden. Am I at the slowest point yet? No. Then I take it away. Then I start adding throttle. Right? Now this is bad. Right here, I'm thinking, I'm already exited the corner. I'm probably looking up here. I'm like, come on, I'm done. I give it 10 degrees of throttle. Am I done exiting the corner yet? No, because we're going to go all the way to the edge here. Now, the GPS, right, there's a lot of camber in this corner, so like maybe the actual degrees are wrong, but the change in the degrees is still accurate. So then I go from right here, 33 degrees of lean to 43, and I roll on 10 degrees of throttle, right? Which the throttle doesn't help. Like those are counterproductive. And my slowest point is all the way here. Nick's done with the corner here. I'm not done with the corner here. Nick's done. I'm not done. What is that? He's done at 1,320 meters into the lap. 1,330. So it's 10 meters difference. It's not huge, but you look at the lines and it's fucking massive. And then I'm doing all this wobbly goosey bullshit with my steering. Finally, we actually get to the exit of the corner, rolling on the throttle. I'm getting some speed finally, but my line is way wide. And then see even here, there's like a little bit of lean input. And then right here, I give it, I take away all the lean and I point straight. Which direction am I pointing right here? This green line? If you know the track, you know that this is, the grass comes in here and there's like a guard tower, or not a guard tower, whatever it's called, a watchtower right here. I literally stand the bike up, point it straight for a bit. Then I get here. Then I lean again. Oh, I better lean. And then I stand it up again. And whereas Nick's just basically just keeps 20 degrees of lean the whole time around here and isn't worried about rolling on the throttle. And he's got, 10 degrees, 10 miles an hour, 5 miles an hour more speed than me. And then right here, right, when I go, oh, better lean, you know what I do when I add 20 degrees of lean? I roll off the throttle because I'm like, oh, better fucking put in 20 degrees of lean really quickly and therefore stop rolling on the throttle. Open up 10 mile an hour speed difference because that's a pretty big gap. More than 10 actually. That's 11. Was it 12? Yeah, 12 mile an hour speed difference right here up the hill. Coming down here, what is that speed difference? It's 92 versus 78. 14 mile an hour speed gap. Probably 15 somewhere in here for a second, maybe. Maybe not. Why? Well, it's all the stuff that happened back here where I don't have direction. I'm doing jerky lean. My speed's wrong. My line's wrong. I'm too tight. Now I'm too wide. Now I feel like I'm going to run off the edge of the track. Now I'm backing out of. Now I'm standing the bike up to roll on the gas for no reason while pointing the wrong way. Now I'm stopping rolling on. I mean, it's a shit show. Then we come around here and yeah, we're done. And so when you look at like here, like if you just look at as if the two bikes were actually racing and don't force them to stand next to each other the whole time, look what happens, right? Like I'm like, oh yeah, coming in so quick. Wow. Completely blow the line. I'm just looking at these dots right here. And then look at the gap that's opening up right here. So if I just hold this, we'll play it out. Right? Completely, absolutely cooked. And I've had this experience in the race where I feel like people are just racing away from me up the hill and I don't know why. And the answer is coming in too narrow, coasting, not braking, not getting direction, jerky on the steering inputs, all these things contributing to having a later apex at worst with worse direction than I need, and then compromising my exit on the corner. And by the time you get here to the end of this section, you're completely cooked. So I don't know. I feel like that was really interesting because it's the same thing for turn 1 entry, the same thing for turn 3 entry, the same thing for the bowl entry, and it seems like this level of consistency is something I can add to my little playbook for practices next season to work on and improve, and hopefully just if I can get in the zone, hopefully take some time off my my laps pretty consistently. We'll see. Anyway, I'll go through the last bit later. I don't think I was doing a great job with this. One thing I'll comment on is this downhill section. The speed that I was carrying versus Nick into turn 9, massive difference. Was that 15 mile an hour difference? Like the 15 mile an hour difference from the entry here, we got to the same exact speed. So he braked more than me on the entry to 9. But then I held those brakes. Look at my lean. I'm leaning over, taking away, leaning over, taking it away, leaning over a lot, taking it away. But he's faster than me through 9, as in he's going faster than me, 15 miles an hour faster through 9, 58 mile an hour here. And then on the left, the slowest point for him is the right in 10, 52 here. Whereas the slowest point for me is the left, 46. And so the slowest point in this whole section for me is this first left, then I flip it over, and then I'm rolling on the throttle as early as right here. Throttle degrees is where I start to crack it, which is bad because I'm adding a bunch of lean. So I add 10 degrees of throttle and 30 degrees of lean. Probably not good. And then I have this very tight line through 10, whereas Nick goes really, really nice and wide out here and gives him, even though he's carrying less speed than me through 10, when we get to the exit here, he's going 91, and I'm scared. I'm backing out right here at the throttle. So braking technique, again, something I need to work on as well, because I think I'm probably rolling off early and scaring myself and all this stuff. And I'll just show the final sector. I don't think it's something I'm great at anyway yet, but same kind of things. Spiky steering inputs. He's carrying more speed than me coming into this corner set. My line selection is very different from his, but then if I carried a tight line out of 10 and he carried a wide one, this kind of stuff makes sense at least. I assume. And then we come through here and 39 degrees of lean, 31. So I'm going slower than him, leaning more. And I mean, maybe a lot of this is line selection as well, if I'm just going slower and leaning more. Kind of crazy. And then right here, we're pretty consistent. I actually end up getting more speed than him out of 12 once we're through the corner. Like I'm going slowest point here and then rolling on my throttle, as in this is on the, as soon as we flip the bike, as soon as I'm flipping the bike over to the left, flip the bike over here and then take it away. As soon as I'm taking lean away here, I'm adding throttle here, and he doesn't start really picking up speed until this point right here on the lap. So I don't know if this is good or not, but I do know that I'm rolling off here and he's rolling off here, and then we go back into turn one. That's the same stuff we just talked about. Same stuff from earlier where I'm rolling off early, he's braking much better than me, and then I'm carrying more speed into the corner anyway. So, okay, I'm going to review this stuff. I'll review a bunch of it. I just think there's some pretty clear, easy things for me to add to my practice, my things to work on during practices next season, particularly corner entries and line selection and techniques on slowing down so that I don't completely compromise every single exit on the entire track. All right, cool. See you guys next season.